Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome. And Cardano Aerodrome suffered attacks over the weekend. Did the network go down for Cardano? The short answer is no. And so we're going to break down what happened. Also, Charles's vision of how Cardano is going to completely separate itself from the rest of the markets. Is it possible? Also, with Aerodrome and Cardano having some issues, are they good buys right now? We'll discuss that. We're going to talk a little bit about Solana. We got Brennan joining us to give us some trade setups on Solana and maybe some other altcoins as well. We're going to talk about the privacy meta. There's a couple top signals, and, well, I'm not as jittery as Rob to call tops, but I think the top for privacy might be in. I'll share what I found with you. And, well, let's not waste any time. It's Thanksgiving week. Gina, roll the intro. Do turkeys make the same noise as chickens make? Shut up.
Hola! Is your boy Big Rob. We're back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. This is the home of entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content where, unlike other boring-ass channels, we take old, stale information, we do it in a fun, sexy, should-have buttoned your shirt up all the way kind of way. Bitcoin, 88,000. I came out here last week. I said, guys, the bottom is in. We're going to see a bounce. Whether or not we're in a bounce,
you said,
which eventually will get us more drawdown, or that was a bounce and now we're continuing back into the bull market. I don't know.
But you said up to 100.
Yeah, I said we're going to bounce, and then we're going to work our way back up to 100.
No, you said we're going to bounce up to 100. Then you said, I don't know if it's going to be a wick. And then I said, I think it'll bounce to like 92. You said, that's not a bounce. Remember?
I was talking about over the next couple weeks, not over the weekend. I was not trying to tell you that we're going to bounce from 80,000 to 100,000 in 2 days.
You kind of were.
No, I was not.
It's okay.
100% was not.
Okay.
I do think that on the macro move, we're seeing Bitcoin put in a bottom, 80,000. We're back up. Now, will this last? That's my big question. I'm not exactly sure.
Rob, wait. I'm so sorry to cut you off. Justin said, if ADA hits 45 cents, I'll be even. Would you rotate? Yes. Please continue.
There you go. You got to interrupt the show to.
But it's an important question.
Advice.
It's almost at 45 cents.
All right. So 80,000 essentially is where we were back 3 days ago. So we put in this bottom here on Friday. I felt like we were going to get a reversal and here we are. Now, how much longer is this going to be before we come back down? I don't know.
We come down.
Yeah. Are we doing this again?
What? Are you like the fun police?
I'm just saying, if you're gonna interject, have some meaning behind it.
You're just a hater.
That's what you do,
that's not
bro.
What I do. I said come down one time and that's it.
And then, oh yeah,
you guys feel like he's been hating on me lately, right, guys? Jake,
I'm just saying.
No, I'm not talking.
If you're gonna interject, put a sentence together.
Yeah, if you're gonna interject, put a useless sentence together instead of a quick useless word. No,
I'm cool with it, bro.
No, I'm not. So, markets are jittery. They're scared. Why? Michael Saylor didn't buy Bitcoin. Rob? The headline reads, markets jittery as Strategy skips their weekly Bitcoin purchase. Strategy skipped a week of its Bitcoin purchases as the leading coin continued to show price weakness. The nonstop streak of buying at least a few hundred Bitcoin has stalled officially, causing fears that the market would test Strategy's playbook again. Now everyone's talking about, well, his entry price, his average price is 74,000. Does that mean if Bitcoin gets to 74,000, Michael Saylor is going to go under? No, it's not. Okay. He's gone on different podcasts and television networks and said, look, even if Bitcoin just didn't go up for the next 80 years, we have 80 years of runway. I don't know if that's
true. And then there was all that big FUD around, what is it,
MSCI.
CI, like
Yeah, the indexes and
yeah,
JP Morgan.
I did a whole deep dive into that. I was just trying to see what substance there was. It's such a failed narrative. Like they were trying so hard to like.
Well, there's also a rumor that the U.S. government is trying to get a large position on MicroStrategy stock, and they just need the price to go down.
Is that real?
It's a rumor. I don't. It was actually shared by a pretty big account. I'm like, what? Anyways, I do want to have a little bit of a conversation on where the market is. You know, we're heading into the holiday season. Thanksgiving's coming up this week. We're not going to be doing the live show Thursday, Friday, so you have us 3 days this week, but we're going to make it an amazing 3 days. The best 3 days you've ever had. Right? Hell yeah. And then rolling into Christmas, usually, you know, people are spending money on stupid presents for their kids that they're really just going to set aside and go play with rocks outside anyways. Remember one year I bought my son a bearded dragon because he really wanted a lizard. He played with it for 3 days and then went outside and started catching lizards off the wall. I said, wow, I could have saved like $400. Anyways, so before we get into that conversation, I do want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by our #1 channel partner, which is stake.us, which, by the way, we'll be drawing a name today from our stake video. So if you've been watching our content, you're in the running for $100 of United States dollar Tether coin. That's USDT. Thank you very much. We'll pick a winner later on the show. And so one of you that commented the special word, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, you will be receiving $100. In the meantime, you should just go ahead and create an account on stake.us. We'll be doing more promos there. The link's in the description. Big thank you to Stake for sponsoring today's show. Now, Rob, holiday season, October is red, November's red, December probably going to be red, I assume. What's your thinking on where Bitcoin is headed? I also want you to keep in mind the disconnect we've seen from certain altcoins, certain sectors, from even Bitcoin going down to some of these alts rallying. Is this kind of a, like, what are you keeping your eye out for?
See, I actually reversed my December outlook. I know that during the last month.
What was your December outlook?
So over the last month, I've said like, hey, for December, it's not looking good, you know, historically for investments. A lot of people take time off, at least from the stock market during the December. You know, people are just spending money, as you mentioned, on stupid presents. And I don't think this is going to hold true. No, the reason for that is that, well, the S&P 500 today is up 1.5%. Also, the NASDAQ is up 2.5% today. And over from last week, we went from a Fed rate cut percentage of 25% chance of having another cut here in December. And now that has risen up to 80%. And so the likelihood of us getting a rate cut is more almost certain. And so with another rate cut that, well, the markets weren't expecting last week, we flipped that, and now we're got in an environment where we're going to get a rate cut. We've seen Bitcoin come down to 80,000. We have a bounce. I would kind of question, hey, what direction is this going to go? It looks like we're in a downward trend, so I'd be a little hesitant.
But okay, so
the macro environment is that the markets are reversing, and we look like the money printer's going on. Donald Trump's about to issue out checks, and with the Fed rate cut, I think because the market's pulled back, I think that we get a positive December now.
Well, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Someone watching, let's say they've been watching our show for 3 months, you say, well, you guys said that last month after the rate cut it was going to be bullish, but Bitcoin went down.
But the rate cut was expected. And then...
Well, can't you say that this is expected?
No, it wasn't. Last week we were at 20%.
Correct, but it was expected, and then the government shut down.
Literally was not expected.
Well, no. Prior to the government shutting down, it was expected November, December rate cut. It was. Okay? Now, I don't know the percentages of expectations,
well,
50, 25, and then the government shut down.
Don't you equate the pullback on Bitcoin in the same time horizon that there was less likely to have a rate cut? Because if you said prior to, or what you just said was prior to the government shutdown, we were expecting to get a rate cut in December. Prior to the government shutdown, Bitcoin was rallying, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then all of a sudden, we're not expecting a rate cut. and Bitcoin's price is down. Then we flip and we have a proposed rate cut coming in with certainty next month, or coming up in December, and this is only like 2.5 weeks away. So we went from not having a rate cut, now 2.5 weeks away, we're gonna get a rate cut. And so I think that has everything to do with Bitcoin's price currently. Also, it's not just Bitcoin, but the macro environment from the index funds are that, this is bullish, dude. It's looking good. We're talking about Donald Trump issuing out checks. You also got, Jerome Powell eventually going to leave office. That's not going to happen until next year, mid next year, but still. Up 2.5% here. I mean, you look on the month. We were trading down. So this is just on the month here. The last 30 days on NASDAQ has essentially just bled down. So you look here, the top was on October 28th. Okay. When was the top on
what was October 28th?
October 28th was the top for NASDAQ. Essentially, we sold down in this entirety of the time, right? Now, you look at Bitcoin on the last 30 days. When was the top? October 27th. October 26th. It is sold down. We have a clear reversal. I think that the index funds, S&P 500, NASDAQ will rally next month off the CME's prediction of a rate cut, off of the dovish narrative with the Fed, off of the rate cut coming in 2 weeks. And because of that, we're going to see more green candles. You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, it's a good one. Dude.
Home Alone 2 in New York.
In New York? Get out of here, man.
Well, they're both
the
really
first
good.
one is the best one.
They're
the
both.
New York one was kind of dumb.
Nah, they're both really good. The third one was straight.
The only thing good about the New York one was the pigeon lady. Yeah,
she was great with the turtle doves.
Yeah. You gotta go look at the Christmas Story, dude.
With the red
rider. Shoot your eye out. That one's just so good.
That was good.
When he goes to go see Santa, and he's
We
like,
have so many
ho, ho, ho.
guys. Real quick,
Then he puts a foot in his face. Like,
hold on. We have a bunch of young people on our staff. Young people, if you've ever seen the movie A Christmas Story, raise your hand.
They've seen it.
Jake. Wow.
One person. Huh?
Okay.
I don't know what that's about.
I think I saw that a few years ago for the first
Christmas
time. Okay.
bonuses are canceled.
I was gonna say we usually.
I've seen it.
If you want a Christmas bonus, you have to watch the movie and take a test. Thank you very much.
Yes. You need to score at least a 90% on our test.
Okay, we're gonna get into. Do we want to go market and charts first, or do you want to talk about what happened with Cardano and Aerodrome?
Let's go with why projects crashed for 500.
Wait, that doesn't answer the. So the charts are.
It's a Jeopardy subject.
Yeah, I know, but is it the charts or the news?
Why? Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, why? Because the price also went down.
Correct.
Let's talk about the news.
The news. All right, the news. Well, there's a lot of stuff happening with Cardano. Did the network go down? Did it halt? Oh my God, someone took it over. The FBI is involved. Well, here is a beautiful HR video from, I believe this is from Intersect. Myths and facts about the Cardano attack.
Cardano mainnet incident. Myths versus facts. What really happened during the Cardano mainnet incident? Let's break it down with myths versus facts.
Hell yeah.
Myth 1. Cardano went down. Fact. Cardano never halted.
Never.
While users experienced some disruption, this was a slowdown due to the temporary chain split. Block production never stopped, and chain integrity remained intact. Myth 2. Cardano was hacked. Fact. The protocol, consensus, and cryptography were never compromised. This was an edge case deserialization bug in older node versions, not a breach of the Cardano protocol itself.
So far, so good.
Myth 3. Nobody noticed. Fact. SPOs, engineers, exchanges, wallets, and explorers all reacted in real time, which is exactly why the issue was contained quickly and effectively. Myth 4. An AI-using teenager took down the network. Fact. A technically skilled individual crafted a malicious transaction after observing behavior on the preview testnet. Authorities and law enforcement are being notified.
Didn't he just repeat the same thing, but with like different words?
Yeah.
Right? The nobody noticed one got me. There's like another 40 seconds left.
Someone centrally rolled back the chain. Fact. No one rolled back anything. Independent SPOs and exchanges voluntarily upgraded to the patched node, letting Ouroboros consensus naturally converge on the correct chain, exactly how decentralization is supposed to work. Response, security, next steps. The ecosystem teams formed a coordinated incident squad and shipped patch software with...
Anyways, so, yeah. To Cardano's credit, you had the likes of Anatoly Yakovenko, the founder of Solana, coming out and saying it's pretty impressive to see how this happened. Cardano did have to go through a hard fork, I believe. And, you know, we've seen this with Cardano before. Like, I don't think anyone is saying Cardano is not a secure chain. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. We've never said that. In fact, it's probably one of the most secure and decentralized chains out there. But, you know, people watching the show, you're not here for us to talk about what's the most secure. You're here to talk about how am I going to make money in crypto? Let's be honest here, right? So, yeah, the network did not go down. We saw that everywhere. The network went down. The network did not go down. We saw something similar happen about a year ago, Rob. Remember when the nodes were like 41% of nodes, something happened, but everything slowed down, but the network continued to produce blocks. So same thing. And then we had Charles. This is titled, Markets Can't Control Cardano Anymore. Well, let's take a listen.
I'm tired of the 4 years of decline. I think you are too. I'm tired of the macro being our master. And no matter what we do, if Trump tweets something, or if a tariff comes out, or if some goddamn bank in a country we've never heard of collapses, then suddenly the markets go down 20%. You know what? Fuck it. It's about time we go our own way. And we're never going to go our own way unless we unify as one, we get together, and we just get it done.
How the fuck are you supposed to do that?
What do you mean?
We're gonna instruct all the investors to not FOMO or panic sell.
Hey man, they got a memo that went out. There's a memo that went out. Listen, man, just because the country's burning, people are broke, doesn't mean they should sell their Cardano.
What's funny? You know what's funny is the fact that dude is over here shaming market conditions that push his price token down. But anytime something pushes it up, he's all about it. When he was talking about going to Washington, D.C., and Donald Trump said something about like crypto and rallied, and he was all about it. He's like, guys, you know what? I woke up this morning. I remember that one. He's like, I woke up this morning, had a bunch of calls, and they were like, congratulations, and I didn't know what it was. And then Donald Trump, like, you know, talked about Cardano was one of the 5 assets in the crypto stockpile. And he's like, I didn't even know. And well, like, you guys, we did it. And you like the upside. You like the upside market.
It's a very weird thing to say from someone as intelligent as Charles Hoskinson, right? Because I think we can agree the guy's a smart guy, right?
Yeah, there's
very odd thing to say.
There's no way you can control macro conditions.
I mean, even gold bends its knee to macro. I'm sorry. So it's just, I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm going to kick it over to Brendan. Brendan's going to be joining us more often. We got a lot of good feedback from the community. This kid is, Brendan, can you tell the people how old you are?
I'm 18 years old.
This young man is 18 years old, and I get texts from him literally every morning about his trade setups, how he's navigating the markets. And so amazing. And so if I guess if someone as young as him can get a grasp on the markets and make money trading, we're going to try to put some of that knowledge in people watching's brain. So, Brennan, can you give us some levels on ADA? The price didn't really go down because of what we just shared as far as the news. It's kind of been in a downtrend for a while. What's like the absolute support level for ADA that it cannot go under? And if it does rally, where should people take profits if they end up taking a long position?
So its lowest point is around 31 cents. So that's like where I find the 1 day support at. And then it really just consolidated there and then made a big, huge jump all the way up to like $1.19. And then it's been in a downtrend ever since. I think if it bounces off of that, and it's literally broke through every single one of our other support levels. So if like we go down to like the 4 hour, it's broke through that yellow box right there. That's the support on the 4 hour. That's the most main level of support, shot right through that. So I think that if it hits there, it'll go all the way back up around this white box right here. Actually, yeah, I think it might go all the way back up around that white box. That's what we've seen in the past. It'll go, that's like what, 90 cents, I think. But I think that with the way that it's moving right now, we could see all-time lows.
And that's what, 30 cents?
Yeah, like 25 cents, 30 cents, around there. I mean, our lowest wick is, 28 cents.
Yeah, Rob has historically said we're going to see 25-cent Cardano. I've kind of said the same thing again.
I mean, that's the direction it's trending. And I mean, we were down there in 2023. So that's bear market territory. But, in 2023, Bitcoin's at 25 cents. At that time, you look at Bitcoin's price back in 2023, it was, 27,000. And so,
Rob, I have a question. If Cardano gets to 25 cents, are you a buyer? Like, is it worth a shot?
I would say, yeah, honestly.
Let's say they still don't have a stable coin. No, everything's the same. But the price at 25 cents.
For me, it just depends if retail is going to come in. If I feel like retail is going to be a buyer of crypto's altcoin, then Cardano will have a slice of that pie. And so what we saw back in January, where we did see the dollar plus Cardano, that January move, all of altcoins ran. And so it wasn't simply you look here on the
it's
one
running because something's happening.
Yeah, it was all altcoins and it was all retail driven. In January and December, January, we did not have investment surge by institution. That was straight retail. What it was people that were sitting on the sidelines thinking that, hey, the bear market's over. It's time to get a position on some crypto. They just FOMO'd in, bro. And we had that typical bull market pump, that early stages. We saw that back in Bitcoin and in the altcoin ecosystem back in 2021. And I think people were just looking at this scenario. Back in October of 2020, you had Bitcoin absolutely explode. Bitcoin went from 11,000 to 50,000 over the course of 5 months. That was also when Doge came out of nowhere and it was at like sub a penny. Cardano at that point in time was under 5 cents, and Solana came into existence around this time and really blew up in the markets. Ethereum moved from under $1,000, under $500. I forget where Ethereum's price was prior to that big move. And so what I think happened was that retail was really excited. And you can see back here, yeah, we had under $500 Ethereum, and then we saw that explode up to $3,000 plus $3,000. And so what I think happened was retail was like, hey, the bull market's here. We're buying. Things are about to moonshot. It just was not sustained. It was not sustainable. I think people were holding for long periods of time. They were exiting. I think institutions were taking advantage, and whales were taking advantage of retail, as they always do. And we just simply topped right there, and it was short-lived. And so my answer to you, which took a long-ass time, is if Cardano is a good investment, it has to be off of the back of those similar retail FOMO-driven people that think that the bull market is going to continue. And right now, that's not here.
They're not even.
And right now, I don't even see them anywhere. I'm looking. Ain't nothing telling me.
They're across the country.
Exactly.
Stuck on the road.
Now,
with traffic.
Maybe Bitcoin, if Bitcoin got some giant green candles and was over 100 grand in the short term, like just say like even in the next 2 weeks, and then the following 2 weeks it was at 120,000, and the following 2 weeks is at 140, then something like that, I think will get retail interest. I think people will start talking like, hey man, Bitcoin's moving, bull market. Yeah, I think people will start buying Cardano. I think that scenario will be positive. But if we chop and grind and test lower and then get up to 90,000 and we find a resistance there and we come back down to 80 and then we rally again, and then next thing you know, a month and a half from now we're at 100,000, and then 2 months later we're at 110. If that happens, if we get more of what we've seen, Cardano's fucked. 30 cents. And if we don't break new all-time highs in the next 3 months, it might be lower than that.
May I present to you a chart? A chart of, let me actually do this so we get the date too. A chart of Cardano over the last 1,561 days. It is down 92% against Bitcoin.
Also, don't forget, Charles Hoskinson said, we're done with the macro. So he's rallying the troops, and he's going to...
I'm going to buy some Cardano and sell it.
He's going to, do something. I don't know.
Yeah, we had I forgot. We had 100K subs. Do you know you do the clapping now? Jesus Christ. You're fired. Thank you. So, yeah, we had 100K. We appreciate you guys. We ramped up a lot of videos. Like we did 5 extra videos last week. So we got a lot of new subs from the HBAR video I did. Also, remember the Mance Harmon video, the interview?
Yeah.
So Hedera got approved for the Wyoming stablecoin. And so that video clip circulated on Twitter. It got a lot of views. A lot of big accounts were sharing that. So big shout out to all of you that helped us get to 100K. Really appreciate you guys. But we're not stopping. We want to get to 1 million and then 10 million. And then we want to get to Mr. Beast's plaque, which he has his own plaque. I don't even know what it's called. You know what his plaque is called? You got like platinum, or you got the platinum plaque, the gold plaque, the diamond, and then
he's on another planet when
he's a cobalt. No, what's the rarest mineral on Earth?
There's platinum.
I don't know if that's the rarest. Somebody Google the rarest mineral on our Earth. That is what Mr. Beast plaque is. Okay.
I will say real quick,
quick.
Just wanted to flash something.
Real quick.
Ethereum having a nice strong move this morning. This might be a little something to keep an eye out for. ETH up from 2,800, about to break 3,000. Had a very strong move in the last 2 hours. So in the last 2 hours, it went from 2,850, knocking on the door of $3,000. Altcoins seem to be in a pretty good spot right now. We have also a giant move from Hyperliquid as well. This one up 5% in the 24 hours. So the one thing I will say here, and I'll jump right back over to you there, David, but one thing I think is very interesting is that big moves out of the top 20 projects, everything's up. Solana's up 4%. Doge's up 4%. Cardano's up 4%. Zcash down 3% currently on the 24 hours, down 3% almost on just the last hour, and down 12% on the week. Could this spell doom and gloom for privacy? I have a feeling this sector and this narrative is getting exhausted. Can we get another rally, another pump, get back up to $650, $700 out of Zcash? Possibly. However, I think that this trend is coming to an end. I think that something's going to take the mantle. I don't know exactly what it is, but as soon as I find out, I'll let you know. We'll make some money on it.
So I came into the show today and I said, is privacy meta over? Take a look at this. So Zcash fees has put it ahead of ETH and Solana. Okay. I think to me, that's a top signal. The past 30 days, the Zcash network generated $47.5 million in fees, surpassing Ethereum and Solana despite lacking a rich ecosystem of decentralized apps. Now, for me, when I think about top signals, I'm like, okay, a meta's running hot, and then everyone starts to try to pile in. We want privacy. We're doing privacy. Usually that's the sign of a top. And well, look at what Stellar Lumen just announced there here, Rob. Coming soon, Protocol X-Ray, all about privacy. ZK apps on Stellar just became way easier. Testnet, January. Mainnet, January 22nd. Yeah,
guys are going to be late.
I'm leaning towards the privacy meta coming to a close. It was fun while it lasted. And as Rob mentioned, well, what's next? That's a very good question. I can tell you for sure what's not next probably is gaming. I would be very careful.
Remember the top for Bitcoin was right around the same time that all of these companies decided to do treasury reserves? They're like, guys, we're buying Bitcoin. We're like, guys, bad timing. Bad timing.
Man.
Can we drop a nuke?
Straight up.
Drop a nuke, please.
Nagasaki over here. Oh, that's a bad joke. $100 super chat from CP674, the new whale of Sin City Crypto. My boy be dropping $20, $50, $100 super chats all the time. We appreciate
is he a
you,
whale
bro.
member?
He's not, but he spends money like a whale member. CP, we appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, and before the show today, we were talking about the animations that we have for the memberships. So if you're not a member yet, you'd like to join the community, you get some emojis and just be honest.
You really don't.
You just support the channel.
Just
you're helping us out, man. And so we do got a pretty fun whale animation for any of the whale members. And so all the whale members, we always appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. So can we speculate real quick on
privacy?
What we know? We agree that I think we're in alignment. Privacy meta is probably coming to an end.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try to spend maybe 3 to 5 minutes speculating on what do we think is probable for the next run, and like what's kind of your reason?
Next altcoin kind of sector
the
to
next
rally?
meta rally. Yes. Think about what's happening. Right, beginning of the year, CES. Okay, the largest consumer electronics show, largest electronic show convention. You're going to see new products, new services. Could we see integrations with DePIN, with IoT, right? Is that sector going to run? Decentralized physical infrastructure network? Maybe. Is, obviously we're talking about privacy, not going to run. DeFi? I don't know. Payments kind of makes sense. The SWIFT just launched a pilot, or they tried... They did some beta testing with Citibank and payment rails on crypto. And so could payments be the next meta, right? We saw Nano make a big run. It's kind of cooled off with the rest of the markets. That's kind of where my head is. Do you think there's any catalyst that could kind of sway you to say it might be this, it might be that?
I don't know. Okay, this is what I'm kind of leaning towards, is that legacy projects have been performing relatively well. And so we've seen Bitcoin Cash perform pretty decent recently. We've seen Near Protocol jump up, ICP doing well. I know ICP is not a legacy, but it's not that old. It's just from the last cycle. But still, you're not seeing a lot of new names come up. As of, I would say, the last 2 months. Now we did get a few new players like Toncoin, also what's the Hyperliquids up there?
Talking about new ones, Aster.
Aster, that's the one I was trying to think of. That's Aster.
Just got listed on Coinbase too.
Yeah. So Aster and those, I feel like those ran prior to the Zcash thing, right? Right? But because before Zcash, it was Aster.
Well, it was a whole perp narrative, right? Everything ran. MYX ran, Aster ran, Hypla ran.
Then we had legacy coins come in, which were spearheaded by Zcash and the
Dash.
Well, yeah. So, but the whole narrative was privacy.
Old coin. Right? Well, it was kind of a mix, right? It was older Dino coins and then privacy. Yeah. If you were both like that.
But you started to see that once the privacy thing kind of dwindled, we still saw a lot of older projects do well, right? And so Bitcoin Cash kind of flashed the signal. It's not like Bitcoin Cash was like exploded by any means. However, you look, Bitcoin Cash, look out here on the 1 week. So up 11%. So when you go down the top gainers on the week, Bitcoin Cash up 11%. You got to go all the way down to World Liberty Finance before you get anything that is relatively close to 10% up. And so on the week, it's Bitcoin Cash. And then some other projects there at the bottom of the list. So I speculate that older projects will do well. Now, I'll have to write off XRP because it already has a rally. I don't think that it's XRP's turn. But
you know what hasn't rallied, Ron?
You know what I think is going to rally?
Z-Chain?
No. I think that exchange tokens are going to rally.
You think so? We kind of saw a rally from that too, though. Okay, B rallied.
Just that. And then we had a little spike in Chronos.
B rallied at $1,200 or $1,300.
Yeah, but I think what we also saw was Binance ecosystem do well, right? PancakeSwap did well for a couple weeks, month ago.
Chain Opera AI for the time being was doing well.
with Bitcoin, with Binance's ecosystem doing well, I think the BNB token might shoot up heavy. I think we might see like a 2x out of this thing or something. Look here in the last 24 hours, the move that we've seen out of BNB, it went from $830 this morning at 6 a.m. and in 5 hours, it's at 867. And so big move there. You look on the large macro, it looks like it's poised for a big run. BNB has performed very well when it comes to outperforming Bitcoin. And well, on the 1 month, it just hasn't looked it hasn't looked good. And so I do think that remember when Bitcoin's top was in, we were at $1,150. And so I don't know, man. I think if you had to ask me what I think might be a good play is these exchange tokens have been around for a while. Also, I saw a nice move out of Chronos. And so I'm a big fan of Chronos. I think this might be a great time. Chronos up 6%. I would not be surprised. Hear me out. I'm calling it. I got a feeling. I would not be surprised to see Chronos at 18 cents before the end of the month.
70% rally in 7 days? 6 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now would be the time to adjust your numbers, by the way.
No. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. Put it that way. Now, I think you're going to get a strong performance out of Chronos. I think that Chronos will rally. 18 cents is a hard number to get to in 7 days. I agree. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I think the likelihood of that would be 10 to 20%, something like that. But I do think that Chronos right now would be a pretty good pickup. You look here on the 24 hours. I mean, look at this move, man. Up 10% essentially from the bottom. So from 10.5 cents to 11.1, not quite a full 10% move, but probably a 7% move here from where we were at 7 a.m. I also know Bitcoin's moving, so altcoins are also on the way up, and so this move here.
I would be very surprised if that happens.
If what?
If Chronos gets to 18 cents, I think it's very unlikely.
It's not anything I would leverage my portfolio under. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. Is basically all I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised to see a big run out of Chronos. I do think that we're going to see a 13-cent Chronos over the next, I would say, week.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of making money, I'm going to bring Brendan back in. Brendan, you texted me this morning. You said, I made X amount of money on Solana. Please share with us. And then also give us a trade setup if you can.
All right. So the morning time around 6:30 is when the New York Stock Exchange opens, or when the exchange opens. So that's when their volatility is the most. So that's when I do most of my scalping. So in the morning time is when I do my scalping. I hit one trade today. It was a long on Solana. So my strategy was I went down to the 15-minute, or up to the 15-minute. I marked out the high and the low of the first 15-minute candle from 9:30 to 9:45. So then after that, I went back down to my 5-minute and waited for a breakout of that candle, right? But not just a breakout, not like a wick up, nothing. Like a candle closure above with a fair value gap is what I waited for. And sometimes it can be a little bit before you really get that good fair value gap in that breakout. This is a small fair value gap, but it doesn't matter how big it looks on the screen. It's still a fair value gap. So right there, I got in. I put my limit order right on the top of that fair value gap, knowing it would come back down and retest. It retested, and I got a 1 to 3 RR on this right here. Hit it for about $500 is what it was. So that was just like a good little scalp this morning, and it worked out. Like it was an A+ setup, and it worked out just how it was because I was patient. I could have got greedy, right? And I could have gone up here and tried and got all this, but you have no idea what's going to happen with the market. So I just
amen to that, bro. Amen to that. I'm 37, and it took me way longer to learn that than you've learned, and you're half my age. So, yeah, I agree, dude. And I think I said this to you. I said the saying, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. It's okay if you eat. You overeat, you're going to be looking real good to the farmer farming those hogs.
Yeah.
Okay, so
bacon. What's
your are you still on the Solana chart for your next setup, or are you eyeing something else? So
yeah, so for I have a swing setup here. I'm looking at a little bit of a longer term trade right here. Last time we had a big run like this of bullish momentum, we hit this mark around 143 and we rejected off of it. So if this continues to go up and hit this 143 mark around this area right here, I'm going to try and I'm going to see if there's a rejection off of it. If I get a good closure, if I get a good look off of the rejection, I'm going to get in a trade on a short and probably write it down to, I don't know, maybe even back down to this support right here. Oh, this is resistance up here. My bad. And then if it pushes through this resistance up here, I would probably write it up to, on the 4 hour, there's a nice resistance right here that I would probably write it up to around 143. So if it pushes through that 30-minute resistance, I will probably write it up there.
Okay, so what's going to be, okay, so if it breaks above on a closure, are you waiting for a retest and then longing? And if it gets rejected, are you also waiting for a retest of resistance and then shorting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, I'm waiting for a retest. I don't want to get in with any type of, I just think it's going to shoot down, because that never happens. It's just unrealistic. And if you look over here at this resistance right here, you got a bunch of stuff. You retested it once and then shot down out of it, which is perfect. You got a nice fair value gap right there out of it, showing that the bears are taking control of the market.
But you got that retest again on that big wick. And so it's the hardest part about trading for me when I was starting out was learning to be patient and knowing that your levels will get back tested. And 9 out of 10 times it does. And that's your confirmation of, well, is it going to break up or break down?
For sure.
And so, yeah, man, I agree. That's great. Solana is an interesting one because even if it's got bearish momentum, a lot of people use the chain. And so at any point, and I do have some Solana news I'll share in a little bit about how they want to change their tokenomics and their inflation rate. So, well, with that being said, Brendan, I want to ask you a favor. I need you to pick a winner. So Rob and I did a stake video. And somewhere in that video, we said, hey, someone who comments the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, not in those exact words, but yeah. We're going to send you $100 of stable coins. And while I have the list here, Brendan, of people who have commented, and I want you to pick because this is your second time on the channel. You don't know these community members as well as obviously we do. So we don't want there to be any favoritism. So Brendan, as I scroll through the list, they have to have said the word, like, unfortunately, Crypto Viking does not count. Neither does James Cavini, which, James, by the way, we appreciate you. So you have C. Menemo, Caspa Queen, Time Scrolls, Blue Heron Ale, Mr. Kennedy, Christian Dominic, Poman. He put the space in between. Shout out. Caden, Redman, Time Scrolls again. He did not. Oh, there we go. Finally. Okay, so James Keeney and who spells? Oh, I guess that's kind of, you got to put a O-U in there, bro. Anyways, Brendan, that's what we got. I need you to pick one winner.
I think I'm going to go with Poman 13.
Poman?
Yeah, he like spaced it out nicely for me so I could like understand what I was reading because like that's a big word.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Poman, I'll reach out to you on X, my friend, and I'll get you over $100 of stablecoin. And so we appreciate all of you that support our content. And big thank you. And so, yeah, let's talk about, since we're on the topic of Solana, take a look at this. Solana supply crunch deepens as 80% of holders are underwater, setting the stage for a high-stakes reset. Solana is facing a market structure crisis as the vast majority of its investors are underwater. The network developers have proposed a radical shift in Solana's monetary policy that would accelerate its transition to scarcity. Proposal SIMD 0411. Well, what does it mean? Currently, Solana's inflation rate decreases by 15% annually. The new parameter would double that disinflation to 30% per year. While the terminal inflation floor remains unchanged at 1.5%, the network would reach that milestone by early 2029, roughly 3 years sooner than the previous projection of 2032. So they're saying, we know we kind of have an inflation problem. You know, we're bleeding out here. We're changing it. Rob, are you in favor of this? Do you like this? And do you think it's going to move the needle for people who maybe are on the sideline? Maybe got out of Solana at $200 some and are on the sideline. And
very bullish on Solana. I would not panic at all. You know, the fact that like what you said earlier was that there's just a lot of transactions, a lot of users, and at any point in time, you could get a hot dApp on Solana. And that's all it takes. One hot dApp that everyone's using or on Solana, and boom, the whole thing it blows up, dude. We've seen it time and time again, and it will happen again. It's just a question of when. Also, I just think it's Solana's time, dude. I'm not too sure about the tokenomics and deflationary and all of that. I feel like people are just currently, you know, with Charles we talked about earlier, people are just kind of reaching for, hey, the token's down a lot in the last year, and this is what we're going to do about it. Like, I get it. You're trying to coddle your investors and your holders because a lot of people are underwater. But I don't think there's really anything you can do about it other than make your shit popular. Make sure people are on there using it. Make sure it's trending and it has buzz behind it, right? And I don't know how to do that. And from Charles's video, he said, we're going to rally the troops and we're going to get together. We're going to fight macro conditions. Like, you know what you need to do? Just have a popular dApp on your chain. That's what you need to do. Like, that's That's what you got to do. And you know who's got popular dApps on their chain? Solana. They've got a lot of them. And the likelihood of them landing another one is high. And when that happens, especially if macro conditions are in a reversal, we're back up 90,000, back over 100,000, you get a popular dApp, Solana's going to go back to $200 quick as fuck. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you keep a close eye on Solana. If you're not a holder of Solana, I would suggest you take a deeper look at it. If not Solana, one of its ecosystem plays, because the users are going there. It's just the reality of it. ETH is BlackBerry of phones. Solana's an iPhone. People are slowly transitioning over. They're not king yet, but that's the direction it's going. And until it changes, I'm going to follow the market, bro.
I was going to make a funny joke, but it went away.
Real funny.
Thank you. I do want to talk about Aerodrome, one of my favorite projects. I think Aerodrome is very undervalued. So on November 21st, the centralized domains of both Velodrome and Aerodrome were hijacked and directed to malicious content. This attack was caught and mitigated early. TLDR, the root was an internal security breach and name silo. Decentralized domains remain secure and operational. Centralized domains with new infrastructure go live next week. 5 leading security firms are consulted. Users affected by malicious domains qualify for grants. And so, yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with I don't think there was any money lost. I don't think any of that. But I don't think a full postmortem is out yet. To me, this is not anything FUD worthy to sell my Aerodrome, just like I think the Cardano news wasn't FUD worthy to sell your ADA. If you're a believer in ADA, that shouldn't have been a sell signal for you. And I don't think it's just, I don't think I can say the same for Aerodrome being the same.
Aerodrome, their attack wasn't on chain. It was nothing to do with the crypto.
Yeah, it was their domain.
Yeah, it was basically their website. Like that's,
Hey, there's links on the website, so.
No, I'm not saying it's not worth anything. I'm not saying that it's just irrelevant, but at the same time, it's irrelevant. In crypto, it's irrelevant because it literally had nothing to do with the crypto chain itself. So
literally,
I will be honest with you. Once there's a vulnerability, once there's a compromise, even if it's one time to a crypto chain, I will not buy it. At least until there is significant time that went by. And then obvious market reversal trend. I think Ethereum's the only project that comes to mind. And then in Bitcoin in the early days that had any security breaches and survived. It pretty much is a death sentence. Because if you can't secure your value, you do it once. At this point, there's so many options that the second you have an exploit, it's over, dude. It's literally over because there's no reason to even trust that project anymore. That said, Aerodrome's fine. Cardano's, whatever. I guess that was interesting. I just didn't care for Charles Hoskinson's. Like, I called the FBI and like, you know what? Like, dude is over here messing with code, messing with protocol, testing stuff out. It's just part of the game, man. Don't be upset if somebody tests your security. Don't stomp your feet over here talking about you're going to call the FBI. I'm snitching. I'm snitching.
Gina, roll the outro. We're done. We're going to be doing the trading show. Myself and Brennan here in about 5 minutes. We need to just go pee real quick.
Sin City Crypto.
Not together. He goes first, and then I'll go in after him. So come join us. You'll be redirected to the chat. We love you. See you in 5 minutes.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.